Hello YouTube, it is Damien. It is Damien Does England. It's Season 8, Season 1 here with Burnley. And today we have the final game of the season. I'm going to say this, it's only 4 episodes for this first season at Burnley. Kind of sums up the year we've really had. We've been topsy-turvy, we've been nothing but mediocre, mid-table mediocrity. And we currently find ourselves 10th in the Premier League. However, we could jump as high as 9th. We could fall, as low, depending on goal difference, probably as 13th. I highly doubt we're going to have a big enough swing to go down and equal the likes of Brighton or so down there in 13th, but it's mathematically possible. The reason I kept this season so short in terms of episode is 2 massive things. First thing is I really wanted to reward the stream. We didn't get to stream as much as we would have liked throughout this about the past few days. However, the last couple of days we did about 12, 14 hours worth of streaming, and we've grown the channel really big. Secondly, us on the stream kept talking about, what game do we do for YouTube? And they were like, well, this game doesn't really matter. That game doesn't really matter. There's not really a game that actually really matters. So that's what happens from there. It was more the fact that if we made the semi-final of the FA Cup, we would do it as an episode with a league game. We got knocked out in the quarter-final by Arsenal. Arsenal would have got Man City in the semi-final if we did get through. Anyhow, we last saw an episode which was in January, and it was about a new look Arsenal. We drew 3-3, I believe, with Arsenal. I believe that was the game. We then went through, as you can see, we got a couple wins. That's not January. There we are. It wasn't that. We drew 1-1 with Arsenal. There we go. It was Wigan, it was Wolves, it was Liverpool, it was Norwich. And then we went through and everything went ups and downs and topsy-turvy. But, as you can see, the run home has come good. We beat West Ham, we beat Everton, we beat United. It's a George Nunn world that we live in, and we're just privileged for George Nunn to let us live in it. Bournemouth there as well, George Nunn again. But the likes of Hartley off the bench, but the big one is this guy, Peter Duckett. He went 9 games, he went the whole stream without scoring. In the last game of the stream, he then grew and, actually finally scored. And now he has gone on a run of form, and look at him, 8.8, an 8.8, a 7, a 7.2, an 8.8, a 9.1. He's just gone, as soon as he got that first goal, I'm a Premier League quality player, said the youngster. And the youngster has delivered. He is probably our best striker on paper, and the guy is 19 years old. I cannot wait to use him, next season. His determination's got up to 14, all of a sudden from 12. His physical's always been really good. His headering's gone up, his passing, his technique, and his, work rate was always quality. I feel like that loan spell for 6 months there at Fulham did him a world of good, and I think the decision for us to actually go out there and, go and bring back some of the loan players has been really good. Like George Nunn was on unreal, a bit of form was George Nunn. When did he last score? Scored against Palace, didn't he? He scored here too. But George Nunn, unreal. He's come through. He scored 5 and 17. These goals may not look like enough. Like Duckett's 7 doesn't look like enough. But yet again, when you're fighting for mid-table, you're struggling to create enough quality chances, and you're struggling at the back. You need some people just to come out here and grab the club by the scruff of the neck and go, look, we're down 14th, we're down in 15th, we need to finish mid-table, we need this club to, show us something. And in the last month and a half, we've actually seen that this club is actually able to play 4-4-2. It's really good to see. Shay Ojo's still been our best sort of player, and there we are. I am heavily looking to bringing in a better back four. Moreno's been out of late. I reckon over the last month and a bit, he's really started to pick up his game, which is good. I still think Moreno can definitely do a job. For us, Tete's really good as well. We've kind of pissed Trippier off because we obviously got rid of Solanke. We then got rid of James. We then got rid of, we are about to get rid of Parks. Callum Wilson's retiring. Yes, sad moments. Callum is retiring. But Callum hasn't been good enough this season. He's decided to retire. I'm not going to renew his contract. I'm glad that we got to manage Callum in his last season. He scored a couple of goals this season as well. It's quite nice for Callum, who obviously helped us win the Premier League at Bournemouth. But we're selling Parks, so Trippier kind of said, I'm not happy with the depth. I kind of said, I'm going to play the youngsters. He realised that we were playing Duckett, but he said that it wasn't enough, so he wants to leave. I'm going to release him at the end of the year because he's on about 100k a week, I think, by memory. Anyway, Munier is going to be in goals for this final game here with Tete, Konsa, Markovic, Moreno, Ojo, Carvajal, Lamar, Chenoglu, Duckett, and Nunn. If there's anything I'm going to say is that Lamar's currently wanted by Espanyol. If Espanyol wanted to give us, a couple of mil, I'm talking a couple mil more, 15, 16 mil. As much as Jefferson is really good, has had a really good year, the Colombian, I don't mind if we sell. Ojo, on the other hand, I probably wouldn't sell to Brighton. Duckett, Newcastle can come sniffing. I don't care. Robertson is someone I'm interested in selling, and then hopefully getting in another left back to support Moreno. Donny, as much as I love Donny's, I might get rid of Donny as well, because there's a couple of people that have already started scouting for next year, and I'm start thinking of the next person for next year that I'm really looking forward to is Miguel, because if we can play Duckett and Miguel and George Nunn off the bench, you've got to remember George Nunn has pace and doesn't have that natural finishing ability, doesn't have this sort of potential or this sort of quality, but George Nunn does score. George Nunn coming in off the bench like Hartley was doing, all of a sudden you've gone up a step in quality. You've got a quality striker coming off the bench in George Nunn. It's not too bad. Secondly, this guy's got 3 games too for Colombia. It's a World Cup year. Colombia are in the World Cup. They're 11th in the world. As long as he gets picked by Colombia, and there's a bit of a risk having him there at a Bosnian club, that if they see that he's in Bosnia, they might not pick him because he's playing in such a low reputable league. If they do pick him like he's been picked, he's played a couple of games once since he's been in Bosnia as well. If they pick him, he will play in the World Cup. He would have played enough recent games, which means on a big contract, next season should have a work permit for us, which is great. George Nunn does deserve a little bit of everything, but there we are. A couple of the lads aren't happy with how I've talked to them of late. I've been praising them too much. Because I've been really happy how this last month has gone. Anyway, that's the team. Unfortunately, there's an injury to Sam Rose, who isn't going to really be here next year. We've got that young winger coming in as well, which I'm really going to focus on next season. Allen is fit enough, probably, for the bench. And saying that, though, I think we dropped Metin. Metin hasn't really done too much. Metin's kind of grown. He's worth 8 mil. We got him on a free. You just never know. You never know if we might use him or not. Anyway, that's enough talking about next season. Let's get into this game here. The links are going to be in the description below for our Twitch. And we're not currently live now. We are just came home from coaching. I knew I had to play these games. I think we've played the last 4 or 5 games, and now we've gone into this game here as well. But we're interested to see what Watford do come out and do. Look, it'd be nice to finish wherever we're going to finish. Just the main thing is at one stage we look like we're going to slip into a relegation fight on stream yesterday. We've managed to pull ourselves out of it, and now we've actually managed to finish smack bang in the middle of the table, which is exactly what the board wants from us. I haven't been given any money for next season yet. I haven't been told any budgets, nothing. So I think the board have really just held on for where we have finished. Anyway, I am going to go out there and press both of those centre-backs. They're playing 4-2-3-1. Mason Greenwood just got transfer listed. He's a decent enough striker, but I don't think we need it. We're itching to set the record straight, obviously. It is going to be Burnley here in the maroon. It's going to be Watford in the yellow. It's the final game of the season. How would it finish? I know I'm speaking about strikers. I love George Nunn and the story of George Nunn. Just someone that's never played for the club, someone that's always been on loan, someone that I realised was having a good season. I said, you know what? We need someone to come and pick us up. George Nunn is a freak. He has a bit of a cult following on the stream as well as George Nunn. Duckett, I'm really glad he's coming to his own, because I feel like this guy could be a great complete forward for us. And I think we got to realise Burnley isn't Brighton or Burnley isn't Bournemouth. Bournemouth, we had inherited a decent squad that, at least have won an FA Cup, performed in Europe. Yes, they just came up from the Championship, but they played in Europe and got through to the knockout rounds. So we always had a decent squad, and then we added a couple of additions. We come 7th, as we're going to go 1-0 down to Jovan. In the end, though, it looks like they're going to check him for VAR. He was never off. We inherited a Bournemouth squad like that. It was always had a decent reputation. Went and won the FA Cup in our first season, finished 7th. And then from then, once the reputation's there for Bournemouth, and it's already was there, we were able to get the quality of players needed. It took a couple of years for them to gel, and then we won the Premier League, the Champions League, and all the rest is history. Brighton was a bit different. Brighton was weird because we actually inherited a team that had a world-class centre-back and put another great centre-back alongside him. And when you sort out the defence like that, by the way, who's made that mistake? That's Jefferson, 100%. He should really be keeping his line. We then went and, we put another quality centre-back. We got a quality striker out there in Rodrigo Marquez. We also had a couple of midfielders. We got a younger midfielder in Orlando Nino, who was, playing international football at the time. And all of a sudden, when you go on a bit of a run of form and the team works from the get-go, you play in a system that really suit the team like we did. As that's going to probably be 2-0. What a finish by Cabral. We then said, okay, we went and won the league. It was a bit of a fluke here at Brighton. Burnley isn't Brighton, and Burnley isn't Bournemouth. Burnley is Burnley. We've seen throughout this season, this game kind of highlights it, been on a great run of form, and then we've seen a couple of defensive mistakes, one from Jefferson not keeping his line, and a defensive mistake from Alberto Moreno, and we're 2-0 down. Burnley, though, also then has the potential where we beat, Man United on stream. We've got plucky draws. We've gone on the last month and a half of winning games. The stream saw us go and draw to Liverpool or concede 90th minute to Liverpool, draw to Arsenal. So you see in the second half of this season, something that I was really worried for me was that we never saw any bits of quality. In this second half of the season, we've seen bits of quality. However, I think our best course of action to get Burnley a Premier League title is probably to buy a little bit younger than what we used to and really try and develop a squad, because I don't think that the squad in terms of older players here is good enough to build around. So, the likes of, Miguel, who's currently on loan, the striker from Colombia, the likes of Duckett, who's obviously a really great player, mix it in with the likes of Shea Ojo, mix them in, with the likes of Markovic and Tete, who have decent at 11. Munier, you got to remember, is 29. As well, with the goalkeeper. You've got a little bit of experience, but we can probably go and say 3, 4, 5 years' time, we may have a team to actually push for the Premier League title. If I'm going to put a time frame, I'm anywhere between 4 to 7 years for us to win the title at Burnley, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's slightly longer than that. It also wouldn't surprise me if we did it in year 4 as well. Anyway, Duckett, he's been in good goal-scoring form. George Nunn, it's a George Nunn world. And there we are, it's 2-1. See what I mean? George Nunn, Duckett sets him up. These two have actually started really growing. We've actually really have come in our own in this 4-4-2 system finally. We've never had it not work at a club, and then the first half of this season was deplorable. The 4-2-3-1, which worked at Brighton, it was deplorable. The 4-3-3 that we tried was deplorable. We even tried 4-1-4-1 and just defend, get to the 70th minute and get to the 4-4-2. Late doors and see if we could win it. I think it helped us get through an FA Cup tie against Brighton. We did that and Hartley scored. But nothing here anyway. We are going to go and try and not lose this game here at home. Lerma is on a booking, hasn't really played. Marin has kindly declined into like a championship player. I know Marin's really big in terms of the influence of the team, but haven't really seen, what he can do, what he could really do this season. Like I said, Donny's a really good player for us too, but he's probably going to get, if the big enough offer came, I would sell. We might look to go and get quite a young midfield in with an experienced backline and kind of go, okay, midfield, you've got some really quality players at the back, or even some younger guys at centre-back that have a lot of potential, and just kind of say, okay, we've got a good enough team, and then keep the quality where it is, the older quality. As Marin goes from distance, a good save from Woodman. It's a different way we could go about it. We could either go, let's go young, let's go to build, and in 4 to 6 years when everyone's kind of grown, 22, 23, we have a squad. Or we can kind of go, okay, where do we need to build in terms of right now at the back? Is there youngsters that are going to be good enough right now to do us a job and grow into being good, even better in the future? There probably is. But is there also experienced players right now that are 20, any 28 to 34 that could do us a job? Van Dijk is one. Van Dijk just got transferred by Liverpool. I don't care how much wage it is. Yes, he only has 10 speed at the moment, but Van Dijk could be a player. As Duckett's in here, Duckett goes with the chip, it's over the bar. Would have been delightful from Duckett. We've only made the double change here, have we? We might make one more. It is going to probably be... Let's get Hartley up there. He's not neutral as a poacher, but just get him off the last man. Why not? Get Hartley out there. He's trained really well all year. He probably deserves it. And then, it's going to be interesting to see how we balance the squad here in off-season. We've used this final game. It doesn't really matter too much. Kind of have a chat and say that's what's going to happen, for the season. As Watford do beat us 2-1 at home. I'm obviously not going to tell them it was not good enough, but, there's areas that we can improve on. Watford are 4th. What the flying? Watford just made Europe. Unbelievable. We finished 10th. Watford have just gone top 4. Who's their best player at Watford? I've actually said this many times that Watford have gone and got a good squad, like Heung-min Song, George Delafeu's there, Michy Batshuayi, Williams there on loan. They've actually got a really good squad. Eden Hazard's transfer list. I doubt that Eden's good enough at 35, but you never know. But Chelsea win the Premier League as well. We haven't been given money yet in terms of next season's budget. I don't believe. Unless I've missed it, we have not been given it. No, we haven't. So I think the board will wait and see if we finish mid-table top half or bottom half before they gave it to us. Anyhow, we are currently 65% in terms of board confidence. What I am going to do is I am going to not end the video here, but I'm going to end this part. And in the second part, we're going to come back with hopefully a board budget for next season, kind of know what we can expect for next season, and then see how we go. In our first season at Burnley, it got scary, it got sketchy, it got tight, we got closer to the relegation zone than what we would have liked. But come end of the season, we are finished smack bang mid-table. 10th spot was what the board wanted. We've achieved it. And hopefully next season we can look to more of the forward thinking Burnley and hopefully look to finish in about 9th or 8th and then push on from there. Anyhow, I'll see you guys in just a second, hopefully with some budget information, just so we know what to expect, and some season awards. All I'm going to say is wow. We're in the Premier League. We have money that we could technically throw at this squad. We have the ability to take out loans. We have the ability to, do a lot. The only thing I'll say is that they've given us $2.5 million worth of spending for next season. However, there is not enough transfer budget anywhere near. We could adjust it. We could adjust it. We could get all the way up to 32 mil. But it's actually not as bad as you thought. But there we are. I think we'll go to 23 mil and that. We've got a little bit of money to spend. However, that initial budget is nowhere near enough. If we didn't go and adjust that, it would be 6 mil. I believe that now I'm going to give the board a little bit of credit. Is that because we had it on so low to make sure we could re-sign a few players on contracts, that the board have done that. In that case, then Mike, you're not as much as a dick as I thought just about a minute ago. But we have got our budget. It says 6.5 and 2.5. I think we're going to get about 20 mil and 2.1. Be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to be looking to do some wheeling and dealing in the transfer period. Unfortunately, we're quite busy with work tomorrow, even though you guys won't see this. I'm going to say it anyway. We're quite busy with work tomorrow, so we won't be streaming tomorrow night. Probably won't even be touching Football Manager too much tomorrow night anyhow. And then it will be Wednesday, and then hopefully in the Wednesday night stream will be a transfer special. Anyway, from Damien and Damo Does England, Season 1 with Burnley, Season 8 of the Challenge. We have got through, we finished 10th, we are exactly where the board wants us to be. It's going to be an interesting future here with Burnley. It's not going to be easy, it's going to be a hard, long slog, but we didn't think this challenge was going to be easy, did we? We thought it was a bit of a breeze when we got through Brighton first season, we thought it was a bit of a breeze in Bournemouth in 4, Arsenal in 2. Something tells me Burnley could be a little bit longer than those.